Got ahead of myself. All right, we'll begin this evening with the call to order and the roll call.
President Gerard,
Here.
Vice President Burns,
Present.
Councilmember Ferguson, Councilmember Hop,
Here.
Councilmember White,
Here.
Mayor Gerard,
Here.
Junior Councilperson Shiana DeFola,
Here.
Junior Councilperson Thompson,
Here.
Borough Manager Snyder,
Here.
Borough Solicitor Harper.
Here.
All right, thank you. All right, item 1 on the agenda, the approval of the meeting agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda of the May 6th, 2026 workshop meeting. Motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilperson Burns, seconded by Councilperson Weiss. All those in favor? Aye. All right, item 2, public input. If there's anybody here who would like to give some information to us or speak, I would ask you to please rise, state your name and address, and the reason for addressing council. You can come up here to the podium and just make sure the button's on, the green light's on, so we can hear you.
And
Yep. Good evening.
So my name is Caitlin Farrell. I live at 343 Telmanton Ave in Hatfield. So as I'm sure you all have heard, there's been some churn outside of the pool board, which started at our last meeting in April. This led to the Township Board of Commissioners placing a pause on the pool board. We are here today to talk about our concern for pausing the pool board. As some of you know, most of you know, I am a lifelong resident of Hatfield Borough with my parents here, and I loved it so much that I bought a house in the borough as well. I've always been an active member in our community, from volunteering at Hatfield events, both borough and township, to being the judge of elections for the borough. Even my first 2 jobs were in Hatfield. Needless to say, this town is a very large part of who I am. I've been on the pool board for over 8 years. I joined in January of 2018. I love being on this board because it reminds me of the 5 summers that I spent working at the aquatic center, although most days it did not feel like work. And there's all the other countless summers that I spent just enjoying the aquatic center and the old pool as a kid. The aquatic center was a second home for me for many, many years, as I'm sure it is for most members of our community. In my time on the board, all I have seen is a dedicated group of people who are volunteering their time and energy to make sure that the aquatic center stays the same wonderful second home it has become to all of Hatfield. Although I was not at this meeting in April, I am very much feeling the backlash that is stemming from that night. I'm not here to point fingers or disrespect anyone. Myself and the rest of the pool board, we are simply here to ask for council support. If you would be willing to write a letter to the township to show your support of the pool advisory board, or if you feel so inclined, be present with us at the next township meeting to help voice our concern over pausing the pool advisory board, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sandy Mussolino, and I live at 1664 Forest Hills Drive, Hatfield Township. I'm also, or was, a member of the Pool Advisory Board for 20 years. In fact, I remember the borough building when it looked like a trailer. We used to meet here. It was called the Pool Board, and you were so kind to allow us space to have our meetings. I came tonight to kind of enlighten everyone as to what the Pool Board has done. So think of the Pool Advisory Board as a bridge in our township and borough, a place where residents and local government need to shape and improve our aquatic center. Think about the people who use the aquatic center every day. Early morning swim team, parents juggling lessons, teens looking for a safe hangout, seniors who come to exercise in the lazy river, and families who treat the pool like their summer backyard. Each group sees the pool differently. Each group has needs that aren't always obvious to the others. That's where the Pool Advisory Board steps in. Sometimes the township and borough needs someone with real lived experience, a former lifeguard who understands safety protocols, a parent who spent years navigating swim team schedules, or a resident who knows what accessibility looks like in practice. The township needed a person filling this description when planning was underway for the aquatic center. The advisory board members found Coach Lee and Deb one day at the old pool when they began talking to different members sitting at the pool, and their names were passed on to the township as possible managers rather, and we all know they were fired. Our current manager, John Taylor's name, was also given to the township by the Pool Advisory Board. The Pool Advisory Board also acts as a liaison between user groups. If you've ever watched swim team families, casual swimmers, seniors in camps, all trying to share the same space on a hot, crowded day, you know how quickly these groups can collide. The board shares each group's concerns and helps the township and borough arrive at decisions with balance, not guesswork. And for many residents, especially those from different cultural backgrounds, the pool is more than a place to swim. It is a gathering space, a place where traditions meet, where kids make friends across neighborhoods, where families feel safe and welcome. The board helps protect that sense of belonging by making sure every voice has a place to be heard.
Hi, my name is Becky McHenry. I'm at 442 Knightsbridge Lane, Hatfield, PA. Good evening, Mayor and Committee. Thank you very much for this time. I'd like to briefly outline the role and the value of establishing a public pool advisory board for our borough and our township. The primary function of this board is to serve as a focused, community-informed resource to support the safe and efficient and financially responsible operation for our public pool. First and foremost, the board would like to prioritize safety. This includes making recommendations on clear and effective signage, appropriate height and use requirements for water features, slides, and reinforcing a strict no running or rough play policy to reduce preventable injuries. In addition, the board would like to evaluate and suggest proactive safety protocols, such as installing foam bumpers in the high-impact areas to prevent head injuries and increasing attention to the concrete maintenance to minimize trip and fall hazards. These are practical, visible improvements that directly enhance the experience of our residents. From a financial standpoint, the board would provide budgetary guidance for the facility that operates seasonal and must contend with unpredictable and sometimes severe weather and more weather-dependent pool. Thankfully, thoughtful planning can manage an operating costs and anticipate repairs and ensure long-term sustainability. Finally, the board would also explore revenue-generating opportunities such as special events, swim programs, partnerships, and concessions, while keeping the membership fees affordable and accessible for our residents. The goal is to strike a balance between the fiscal responsibility and the community access. In short, the Public Pool Advisory Board offers a structured way to bring together resident input, operational insight, and a long-term planning, and helping us maintain a safe, welcoming, and financially sound community asset. Thank you very much for your time. President Board, President of the Hatfield Community Board.
Mr. President, council members, I'm Edward W.N., also known as Ned Smith, 29A Fred Street here in the borough. And Mr. President, I did deliver to staff copies of my remarks in advance. Did your council members receive those?
Yes, we did.
Okay, thank you. So to save some time, I will refer to, but not read the last two, the bottom of the second page and the third page where I talk about my credentials in the water safety and government role, with the government. I will also mention that I will be serving to Hatfield Township copies of these comments, but I thought it would be appropriate to serve to, to present these comments to you in advance, since you are my elected officials. I'll also skip the first paragraph because you've already heard what the advisory committee does. Having personally attended, by the way, I am not a member of the advisory committee, but I have personally attended many of the board's meetings over the past 5 years, and I can personally and confidently state that the board provides valuable citizen, user, and taxpayer input to the decision-making effort affecting the Hatfield Aquatic Center. Until recently, the board has acted cooperatively amongst its members and with the aquatic center management. In this era of growing political conflict, the board has been a breath of fresh air and a shining example how such things should be run. The issue at hand is this pause. At the April 22nd meeting, the commissioners of Hatfield Township, it was announced that 3 of the 5 commissioners had to decide to pause the work of the advisory board. There being, as of no yet published minutes of the meeting, the only supporting information that I saw before tonight was from North Penn Now Community News, tensions, flares in Hatfield over pause of pool advisory board, and I'm told it also showed up in the North Penn Reporter. Being a resident here in the borough, read not of the township, and not being a member of the advisory board, I had no standing to make comments at the April 22nd meeting of the Township Commissioners. This announcement of a pause is troubling from many angles. To mention just 2, there was zero mention of the role of the borough, this council, nor if how the borough was included in this decision making. There was also no mention of what procedure was followed to reach this decision. It appears that no formal action was proposed, sunshined, debated, and voted on. To the contrary, it appears that the commissioners took this action unilaterally as a behind the curtain fait accompli. With increasing displeasure nationally of citizens towards facets of government, as represented by the No Kings rallies that keep making the news, I find it incredibly troubling that 3 elected officials of one municipality would even consider taking an action such as this pause in a manner that imposes its wills on the council members of another municipality. In this case, this council. I will go off script to just to mention, this is one case where I will say I disagree with a previous commenter. I don't think you should be writing a letter to township. The advisory board is a partnership. You should be saying, whoa, gang, let's get together and talk about how we're going to manage this, not, we don't like what you're doing. Back on script. I remain committed to supporting and moving forward our greater Hatfield community and this council, and I'm available to provide further input on this or any other matter. Mr. President, council members, mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Erin Blanc and I live on Linden Lane, Hatfield. I have kind of tweaked this a little bit, so please bear with me. I am a very new member of the pool advisory board. I have attended just 4 meetings starting this January when I was appointed in December. I was very apprehensive about walking into my first meeting in January, given some of the circumstances of my appointment. I was not familiar with any of the appointed board members. I was not friends with any of them beforehand. I didn't look them up. And it turns out they didn't look me up either, didn't know anything about me, and I thought that was really great. At my first meeting, I realized that my concerns about the group were unfounded, and I was welcomed warmly into the group. I was eager to learn about the pool board, the functions of the pool, the employees, the operations, and the finances. I grew up going to the Hatfield Pool's old version, and we joined the new HEC when my boys were very young. We spent many days there with our friends we met because of the pool. My oldest son now works at the snack stand and has thrived in that job. And this year he has recruited friends to work with him. We live within walking distance of the pool, so both boys commute to the pool on their own, which I absolutely love. My younger son goes with his mom, his cousins, and his friends. My parents gifted our extended family season passes for all 17 of us because they want it to be a family gathering spot, and it truly has been. I have known John Taylor, the manager, since we were very young, and I've always been able to check in with him about the pool and make suggestions or express concerns. My new board role just made it more like I was an official complainer. Having a dedicated pool board is so important for our Hatfield Aquatic Center. The board consists of residents from the township and borough, so it is a place where the borough also has a voice, not only the township, and it's a conduit between the two municipalities and the administrations. Members of the community who use the facilities and come from various backgrounds and perspectives are crucial to offering input and feedback. We patronize the facility day to day, and we see gaps and areas for improvement. Our pool is more than just a facility. It's a place where families gather, kids learn to swim, friendships are built, and community happens. Because of that, it deserves focused attention from one group and very thoughtful oversight. A community pool is an investment in quality of life, and a dedicated pool board is how we protect and strengthen that investment. There's no doubt that the Hatfield Aquatic Center can be a factor in families deciding to move to our area. It would be a mistake to disband this board. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, anybody else like to speak? All right, I'd like to thank you all for coming out this evening and expressing your interest in the way the pool advisory board is being run and hopefully will be run in the future. Speaking for the entire borough council here, we are aware of the situation that's been going on recently, and we are taking steps to look into it, and we will get back to you one way or the other. Try to give you the support we can to continue things on here the way they have been in the past, and hopefully the way they will be in the near future. So thank you all so very much for coming out this evening, and we will get back to you. All right, next item, announcements. Item 3.
Next council meeting, May 20th, regular meeting at 7 p.m. in council chambers. The MCPC open house is scheduled for May 13th at 6 p.m. in council chambers. Planning Commission is scheduled to meet on Monday, May 18th at 6 p.m. in council chambers. PEROC is scheduled to meet Wednesday, May 27th at 8 a.m. in council chambers. The borough offices will be closed on Monday, May 25th in observance of the Memorial Day holiday. The Hatfield Museum Historical Society is scheduled to meet on Tuesday, May 26th at 7 p.m. in council chambers. And Hatfield 250 is hosting a Living History Day, which is scheduled for Saturday, May 30th at 10 a.m. at School Road Park.
Thank you. One more item I'd like to just throw out there to you. We invite everybody to come out on Memorial Day itself for our annual parade and the ceremony at the American Legion Post over on Coffell Road. So just keep that in mind, and we'd like to see you out there as we march by. Okay, item 4, core commercial text amendment application submitted by WB Homes Land Acquisitions LP for 41 North Market Street.
Good evening, Borough Council. My name is Will Bruger, representing WB Homes this evening. With me is Mr. Justin Strayhorn, project manager, also with WB Homes. And we are here this evening for 2 reasons. One is that we are the equitable owner of 41 North Market Street, which is, you're likely familiar with this. It's outlined in red. It is the property that is south of the fire company. Across the street are several residential homes, single family homes mostly. And then to the south of the plan is the parking lot that is leased by the borough. The second point is that we have submitted a zoning text amendment to the borough, which has been reviewed by the borough engineer, the borough zoning officer, fire marshal, Montgomery County Planning Commission, as well as your township, borough planning commission. And I apologize in advance. I hope that's the last time I say township. I know I probably offend you. That is not my intent. So the site outlined in red is about 1¼ acre. The building against the train tracks is, we believe, to be used as storage or a warehouse. And then there's a building that fronts Market Street that has 3 commercial tenants located inside. Next slide, please. Now, with our proposed zoning amendment that we submitted, I believe at the beginning of April, it is to permit townhome uses within the core commercial zoning district. The core commercial, as pictured here, starts up by the train tracks and kind of sneaks through the center of the portion of the borough. There are some existing residential uses, as I had previously stated, that are across the street from the subject site. And one thing that is important to note and that we analyzed in our presentation for this evening, there is a provision within the proposed language that states their townhomes would need to be on a minimum lot size of 1 acre. So we had looked through your zoning map specifically at the core commercial district to try and analyze any properties that would be applicable under this zoning amendment. You can see on the plan left here, there is a 1.2 acre parcel that is currently actually under development in townhomes. And then there are very few parcels within the zoning district that would fall under the acre minimum for development of future townhomes. Also within the proposed language, we suggest and highly recommend significant architectural standards. We can get into those in a minute or two. We did present to the planning commission on the 27th, I believe, 2 Mondays ago. We had a very good conversation with them. I believe a number of council members sit on the planning commission. So thank you for your comments. And please, if I misspeak, please feel free to correct me, throw a pen, whatever you need. We can go through that language. It was, again, reviewed by the planning commission and your borough engineer. Next slide, please. So this plan here is what we call it is proof as a proof of concept. It's not the design plan. It's an ideal layout based on the proposed language. You'll see that this site, we can propose 15 townhome units. Each townhome is about 22 foot wide, slab on grade, 3-story unit, about 19 to 2100 square foot. To the left of the townhomes would be a parking lot with about 28 spaces. So through conversation with the borough staff, as well as the borough engineer and the fire company president, it was highly recommended that we try and accommodate the fire company with additional parking for their social hall. On this plan, we are presenting, we would offer about 20 spaces out of the 28 to the fire company through an easement or whatever is suggested by your borough solicitor. And we would also have to meet your current landscaping and stormwater requirements. That would all come after the fact. if we are successfully able to have this zoning amendment adopted. Two items that we did discuss intensely during the planning commission meeting were a parking requirement. So your borough ordinance requires 2 off-street parking spaces per each dwelling unit. We do satisfy this requirement as noted with the table below, as well as the illustration of the driveways for each townhome. We are proposing 2 spaces and then a 3rd space inside the garage. In addition to that, we are proposing to construct 28 additional overflow spaces. 8 would be overflow for guests for the townhome uses, and then 20 to the fire company. The second item that we discussed in depth with the planning commission was architectural standards. So the proposed language does have a number of architectural standards in order to meet the core commercial feel and future development. One item that we did not include was along the side or the front of this development is technically the sides of these units. So the planning commission had made the recommendation to include some type of front entrance feature as well as a service walkway that almost makes the side look and feel like the front of the units. So we were very amenable to that. We will go, if we proceed with this text amendment, we'll go back and work with borough staff to revise the language to incorporate those comments. I'll quickly move to the 4th slide and the last slide of this presentation, which is a rendering of products that we would offer for this development. This again is a 22-foot wide, 3-story slab on grade product, very appealing to the eye. Different architectural features, roof line, siding and trim, and then the front entrance and entryways. In closing, we're not looking for a recommendation to this evening. We're just looking to have a conversation, what you like about the zoning text amendment, what you don't like, what you like about the concept. We do have review letters again from your borough engineer, zoning officer, fire marshal, and the county planning commission. We're generally in favor and amenable to every comment. We ask if you have any additional comments that we can work with your staff to incorporate them and come back at a future meeting, hopefully in June, with a clean version of this text amendment. And at this point, I would entertain any questions. I might ask Mr. Strayhorn to help me out on any architectural or layout specifics.
Thank you. All right, council, any questions, comments? I do have one question. I noticed on the schematic here, it looks like you got some of the properties have 2-car garages and some maybe just a 1-car garage. Is that standard, or are they going to be expanded for the 2-car garages?
Good evening. That is optional. We offer a 1 and 2 car. So you do get a garage, but it is up to the individual unit that the owner purchases.
Okay. Any other questions?
There would be in the driveway that room for the 2 cars
On every single unit,
on
correct?
every single
Yes.
unit. Okay. And you said that the garage could be considered a 3rd parking space?
Correct. Yeah, obviously, people can use their garage how they want, but from a compliance standpoint for parking, we're meeting the compliance with the driveways. Each one will have 2-car driveways, regardless of a 1 or 2-car garage, but then yes, 1 or 2-car garage is an option.
Okay. And I saw that there was a maximum height of 40 feet.
Correct.
How tall would this,
They are under 40 feet.
under 40 feet, by a lot or?
38, something like that.
Close.
If you want to see, we just built 40 of these in Hatfield Township behind Ziegler's apple cider plant, on
Right.
Broad Street.
Right.
This is the product that we would propose here if this was successful.
Okay.
To
Thank you.
get a real life perspective rather than a rendering,
Sure.
although I can tell you it looks very similar.
Thank you.
All right. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Any comments from the audience? Anybody? All right. Thank you.
Question, parking for election day at the fireplace, at the firehouse?
What about the parking? There will be parking spaces allotted in the plan for parking there at the firehouse. That's what you're asking?
How many?
28
So-
total.
So the lot that you see in that drawing there is currently what's there now. So that whole on the side there, and then at the other end, the SEPTA lot is still there. So this doesn't impact that.
Yeah, that's not part of the development.
Correct, that's to the south. That is not part of our application or property. Correct.
Right, but the WB proposal is to give an easement to the firehouse for parking spaces.
Correct, for the 20
28
spots.
spaces
Right.
above and beyond what you're required to have.
Correct. Yes,
So with that restaurant there, not gonna be there anymore?
that is on track, correct. That's between them and the owner.
Yeah, that those buildings are, those businesses lease the properties there. They don't own them, so I'm sure probably they are somewhat aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
We will take feedback and hopefully be back in June with a cleaned up amendment.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, item 5, reports from standing committees and the mayor. I'll start with the Budget, Finance and Labor Committee. We met this evening to discuss our upcoming budget process. We have quite a few things that are coming up this year that will have major impacts on our budget. So we're trying to get an early start, an early jump to get our budget put together and resolved on a timely basis. Due to rising costs for various things like gasoline, employee wages. We also have a number of other items that we're looking at that we're expecting will have an impact on our budget process. That's why we're getting started much earlier now than we have in the past. So hopefully we will be able to keep any increases, if we have any, to a minimum, so it doesn't have a major impact on our residents. Planning, Building and Zoning Committee.
Yeah, so we had a meeting this past week. I think a few people that are here tonight were there. It centered around the feral cat issue that we're having in the borough. And it was a well-attended meeting. We appreciate everybody that was able to come. We got a lot of good feedback. We're going through and amending, if you will, the code that we created so that we can add some of the comments that the people had given us. So we appreciate all that, and we should have something shortly on that.
Thank you. All right, Public Safety Committee report.
We haven't met, so I don't have any new reports to give.
Okay, thank you. Public Works and Property and Equipment Committee report. Said.
Mr. Bishop, that's what we discuss in future, but at this moment, we have nothing else to say.
Okay, thank you. The Utilities Committee report, and I'm the chair of that, and we have nothing to report at this time as we haven't met recently. The Hatfield Economic Revitalization Outreach Committee report, same thing. We have not met recently, so we have nothing really to report at this time. And Mary Ann Gerard's report.
I just have one thing I want to report on. I've been in contact with the county And I've arranged for them to attend our Founder's Day celebration on June 13th. And they will be setting up 2 tables. And they will be providing our residents with a lot of information. They have the Office of Voter Services, Office of Immigration Affairs, their Health and Human Services Department has a ton of information about public health, veterans, drug and alcohol treatment programs, all of that information. So they will have that available. I want our residents to use that as resources and find out what services are available and hopefully use them. So see everybody on the 13th. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, item 6, reports and correspondence. We'll start with the monthly investment report.
Monthly investment report was included in your packets. I'm going to highlight where we are from March. So income was 38,987 and disbursements into our Harleysville account, including fees, were a total of 27,354. I also want to add that President Gerard focused on this a little bit. We are in communications with Key Bank. We're kind of looking for a proposal for them to share short-term, long-term investments with us. As you look on investment tracking, which was updated at the end of February, our 24-month has matured as of the end of March. So we are keeping an eye on that. We do have a lot of cash on hand in those investments, but not sure what we want to do short-term and long-term. So we're waiting for a proposal that Budget, Finance, and Labor can look at and then talk to Borough Council about, just so we manage it a little bit differently, possibly in the future. So we will keep council posted on that.
Okay, thank you. The monthly EIT and LST report.
Monthly EIT year-to-date through April for 2026 is 178,656. And in 2025, we were at 166,853. So always like to be ahead of where we were a year prior. So EIT is looking good. Moving on to LST through April 2026, 12,393. 2025, 12,321. So again, a little bit ahead of where we were in 2025. So staying positive about LST as well.
Thank you. The monthly year-to-date report.
Monthly year-to-date report in your packets highlighted through March. Revenues at 661,844. Expenses down from the previous month significantly, which we like to see, at 451,103. So if we're looking at the very bottom, revenues received about 22% of our budgeted revenues, and expenses used about 24%. March and April are always good for the borough because our taxes start to come in. So we like those months.
The monthly zoning hearing board applications.
There are no monthly zoning hearing board applications in your packet, but I will draw attention to a conditional use application that was received by the zoning officer today for a property on Edgewood Drive. So in May, you will see in your packets a conditional use application to hold a public meeting or public hearing in June for an oversized garage on the corner of Edgewood and Tillman's.
Okay. The MCPC Steering Committee report.
Montgomery County Planning Commission is going to hold the community open house next Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. here in council chambers. Invite everybody to come out and talk about our comprehensive plan. Open space, parks and recreation, environmental recommendations, looking to see borough-wide transportation and business development. Staff and council will also be here to answer any questions, including budget questions, projects that are coming up in 2026, general questions. We'll be in the chamber that evening. So anything that comes up, we'll be happy to answer. But we really are looking for the community to come out and engage in the open house. This is going to be our draft of our comprehensive plan. So any community engagement is welcome.
All right, the Hatfield 250 committee report.
Yes, so we have quite a few things coming up with the fourth looming in the future here. Some of the things that are coming up on May 11th, there'll be a declaration discussion panel. Who supported independence, who didn't, and why. These things will be at the Hatfield Township Building. May 30th is the Living History Day from 10 to 3 at the park in the township. June 20th at the police station open house, we're going to have a table set up, and also the Hatfield Museum will be open that day. June 22nd through July 4th is the American Revolution Experience. July 4th, there's quite a few things going on that day. There's a pool party from 11 to 1, and then the American Revolution Experience and a declaration signing. They're going to have something different folks can sign a declaration. July 8th at noon is Proclamation Day. We're trying to get the ringing of bells 13 times all over the area. So that should be pretty exciting if we can get that through. And then once again on September 10th, everything doesn't end on July 4th. September 10th, there's going to be a presentation, the Lenape presentation by Barbara Blue Jay Mikowski. The other thing to be looking for is we're in the process of setting up we're not setting up, but finishing up the reading of the declaration. They videotaped a bunch of people from the township and the borough, different folks from different walks of life, from different officials from the boroughs, from the townships, from businesses, and everybody read off a little piece of the declaration. It's pretty neat. So you'll be able to see that on TV in different places. So that should be done before too long. So, okay.
Thank you. The police department report.
Will be available for the next meeting, but I did want to highlight that we were able to secure PennDOT funding for enforcement activities specifically related to pedestrian safety. We successfully launched a detail at the end of last month, which was focused primarily on just borough crosswalks and violators. It was a very successful event. The plan is to continue that in the very near future as well. So you may appreciate that.
Good. Good. Thank you. Fire department report.
2 calls for the month of April. We're at 225 now. We have we're just about shy of 50% of where we were last year, just a third of the way through this year. So we're currently on target for 600 to 700 calls this year. Quick.
Thank you. The EMS report.
EMS report is located in your packets. Just want to highlight calls in the month of March, 1,080, and 7 of those calls were in Hatfield Borough.
Thank you. Public Works Department report.
So the Public Works Department report for the month of April. The only thing I really want to highlight is the final completion of the replacement of the LED streetlights. We're pretty much completely done now at this point.
Nice.
How much is it saving us? Do you have any estimate in terms of the electricity?
On the spot like that.
Just asking.
I can get some numbers for you for the next meeting.
Can't do it off the top of your head, huh?
Oh, that's way too much, Matt.
Okay, thanks. The engineering report.
Good evening. Just a few projects to highlight. One would be Hatfield Walk at 23 North Main Street. That developer is very eager to get in those buildings. They're gung ho to get in by June. As far as the use occupancy permit being issued, we performed a roll test or a proof roll on the driveway last week. I was there myself. It did not pass in a few places. We are coming back again tomorrow to do a follow-up proof roll after they excavated portions that were soft. You'll see they actually paved it. We are coming back and make sure that it's strong, not going to sink. Number 2 would be 43 Roosevelt Avenue. Units 1 and 2 were issued use and occupancy permits earlier this week, or yesterday or Monday. So that would be the building that's further away from the intersection with Roosevelt Ave. The site work is mostly complete. The other building still has a decent amount of work to be done on the outside, or I would recommend use of occupancy permit. The builder's well aware of that, and they're also going to get that wrapped up and occupied. And then the third one would be one that's not on my report. It just came up this week. Brooks is looking to add to their parking lot. We don't have a sketch yet. I know Jamie's been in discussion with members of Brooks, and I actually spoke with their engineer this morning. We don't have a defined scope. They said between 50 and 75 spaces. They're asking me if that can be done as a permit or a land development. My recommendation is go through the land development process because it is of significant size and there's a number of things that will need to be looked at with regard to impervious coverage, stormwater management, lighting, landscaping buffers. There's residential properties side of it. So my recommendation at this point in time is going to be go through the land development process. That way we can make sure everybody's satisfied and the residents protected. More to come on that as we get more information. That's all I have.
Thank you. All right, the zoning officer, building code and property maintenance report.
Ryan's report was included in your package, just highlighting the month of April, 11 notice of violations. Those include work without permits, meter tampering, meter repairs, high grass, and rubbish.
All right, the fire marshal, fire safety inspection report.
There was no official report in your packets, but they did complete 7 fire safety inspections in the month of April.
Pool advisory report would not be available, I guess, because of everything being on hold at this point.
Yeah, I believe their meeting minutes are included in this packet
Yeah.
from their last meeting because it's March.
Okay.
So the meeting minutes are in the packet if anyone has any questions.
All right, and the junior council person report, Pepe?
Yeah, so other than the great turnout tonight, you know, I was at the CAT ordinance meeting. That was a lot of fun, very interesting to hear from everybody, everything that's going on. I didn't realize it was that interesting, and it's right down the street from me. So I was really good. I did take a drive down that road just to see some of the things that residents were pointing out, and I do see a lot of what they were saying. So that was, you know, an interesting tour to take, to hear it and then see it. But other than that, yeah, nothing else to report.
I was able to go to CAT meeting as well, which is interesting, right? And earlier they were the activities and help out. It's fun, like seeing all the little kids like learning about environmentalism and stuff like that. That's all.
Busy month for you guys.
Yeah. All right, thank you, guys. Item 7, the manager's report.
The only thing I wanted to highlight in the report this evening was good news for Hatfield Borough that we've received Section 219 funding through Congressman Fitzpatrick's office in the amount of $1 million. So this money was allocated back in, I'd say, 2009. Came through Hatfield Borough, did some work on West Vine Street with the Army Corps of Engineers. And $310,000 was kind of just laying out there for Hatfield Water Authority, which we don't have, but it was part of that project. Congressman Fitzpatrick's office found that money that was allocated and reached out and said, hey, this money's sitting here. At that time, we were in the middle of our $3 million utility replacement project, and we said, hey, we could use $3 million. So they went back, went through appropriations, applied for us for the $3 million, and we were awarded $1 million of that. So we are working with our engineer and the Army Corps of Engineers to focus on sanitary work in the neighborhood of Cherry Street, Union, and Diamond Street. That was kind of next on our 5-year list. We haven't really got any farther than the concept. We'll be talking more about details in the Public Works and Property and Equipment Committee meeting that's going to be coming up. So we'll navigate that process through the committee and keep Borough Council informed, but super excited. $1 million is a lot for Hatfield Borough and really thankful for the congressman for coming through for us.
All right, big hit. All right, item 8, new business and discussion items. Item A, we'd like to have the introduction of the junior council person candidate, Eric Alderman.
I'm really happy to welcome Eric here tonight. He came to me, he was interested in the junior council person position. Now, this will not be until the school year 2026 into 2027. So Eric will be then a senior at North Penn High School. And there is his letter of interest that he submitted to me. I just have Eric a question, maybe two, that I'd like to ask. And council, I welcome any of your questions too. Eric, when we met, you mentioned about the DECA, DECA. I thought that was very interesting. Could you just speak a little bit about that?
So it's a nationwide and international event and competitive event for high school students they pick a certain event like journalism or principles of finance or government, and then they study for that either within their schools or outside their schools. And then they meet up on the regional level. Like I'm District 8, we went to St. Joseph University for that. If you compete well on a regional event, you go to the statewide event, which was in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And if you do well then you go to the national event called ICDC. And it's just a way to network and to learn more about what you want to do in the future. If you want to stay with what you chose for your event or just go to event.
Right, okay. I thought that was very interesting. Tell me, do you have, or do you belong to any clubs at the high school or anything at the high school?
Yeah, I'm a part of DECA and FBLA, as the letter said.
Okay.
And I'm also a part of the chemistry club and math club. Yeah.
Any questions? I do have one question for you out of curiosity. Seeing as how you're willing to become a junior council person, what are your intentions down the road? What would you like to be doing in later life in relation to this?
So this is like the first step. I'd like to go to college, and after I want to go to the Naval Academy, particularly, and become a fighter pilot. And that's like my big goal. And then after that, I want to get back into politics, back into government, and advocate for certain things that mean much to me. And I feel like it's the perfect blend of experience, military experience, and giving back to the community.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
All right.
Anybody else? Okay,
What are some of the things you'd advocate for?
Environment is a big thing for me. I feel like as a younger person in this generation, if we don't have a future, there's no point in doing all these things, becoming a junior council member, if there's not an earth to live for in the future. That's a big thing. And also like civil rights and international rights and all that. That's a big part of my focus and what I put importance on and value on, particularly.
Anybody else? Okay, Eric, thank you so much for coming in.
All right, item B, resolution 2026-06, recognizing National Police Week.
This resolution recognizes National Police Week, May 15th through the 21st, will be designated as National Police Week, with May 15th being recognized as Peace Officers Memorial Day, in honor of all fallen officers and their families. This is on for consideration as an action item this evening.
Item C, resolution 2026-07, recognizing National EMS Week.
This resolution recognizes National EMS Week, which will occur from May 17th through May 23rd this year, and it will be on for consideration at the May regular meeting.
Item D, resolution 2026-08, recognizing Public Works Week.
This resolution will recognize National Public Works Week, which occurs May 17th through the 23rd. And it will be on for consideration as an action item at the May 20th regular meeting.
All right. Item E, Resolution 2026-09, the closure of certain borough roads, for the Founder's Day celebration.
This resolution authorizes the closure of certain borough roads, specifically Cherry Street and Union Street, from Cherry Street to Diamond Street in the borough for the Founder's Day event, which will be held on June 13th. The road closure will be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and it will be on for consideration as an action item at the May 20th regular meeting.
Okay. Item F, ABP Investments of 43 Roosevelt, the electric escrow release request.
43 Roosevelt completed their electric escrow work in the amount of $18,498. Hatfield Borough has already paid these bills to Car and Duff. So I asked and I put a request into Mr. Hurling of ABP Investments if we could be refunded our money that we paid out of his escrow account. And that will be on for consideration as an action item at the May 20th meeting in the amount of $18,498 from his posted electric escrow that he has.
Item G, the Verizon Cable Franchise Agreement Public Hearing Notice.
So as Borough Council knows, we're working with Cohen Law Group through the Verizon Cable franchise renewal. And the first step in that is to have a public hearing. So the public hearing is on for consideration to be advertised to be held May 20th. That's just where Cohen will give us basically comments that we read out loud and we ask for citizen engagement. That's the first part of that. So once that's completed, they can go on and negotiate with Verizon on the borough's behalf. But we're just looking for citizen feedback, dislike your Verizon services. Do you have any comments you would like to share? Because all of that information will be included as part of our negotiations. So if someone's not getting good service, they think their fees are too high, their streaming services aren't that great, and Verizon is part of that. We ask for any comments. We'll include those as part of our negotiations in the franchise agreement.
What is the cutoff for that, for the comments?
So we'll hold the public hearing and they asked for everything to be turned over by June. So that's why we have to have the public hearing at the 20th, and then we'll open it for comments at that hearing. We can post something too to see if anybody has anything. We did receive 1 or 2 for Comcast. Most of it was like customer service related. And then we'll hand those over to Go in the beginning of June.
Okay, thank you. All right, item 9, old business, if there is any.
I do not have any old business.
All right, item 10, action items. Need a motion to consider resolution 2026-06, recognizing National Police Week.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilperson Weiss, seconded by Councilperson Burns. All those in favor? Aye. No opposition. Item B, a motion to consider advertising a public hearing for the Verizon Cable Franchise Agreement for May 20th, 2026 at 7 p.m.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion from Councilperson Ferguson, seconded by Councilperson Burns. All those in favor? Aye. No opposed. All right, item 11, need a motion to adjourn to executive session, personnel, litigation, and real estate.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilperson Weiss, seconded by Councilperson Ferguson. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, we are adjourned.
We don't expect we'll be making any decisions or coming back after executive session.
Right. Okay, thank you. Thank you all for coming this evening, for expressing your interest.